Hi everyone, welcome back to SGDA's Student Game Showcase Section C. We're here with our last game of the section, King Scribble from UMBC. I'm Jason again, the SGDA president. Megna, if you wanted to introduce yourself and the team, please.
All right, hello, I'm Megna. I'm the marketing lead of SGDA. You've seen me throughout the section, and I'm going to go ahead and let the King Scribble team introduce themselves and talk about their role in development and also what the game is about.
Cool. All right. So hello, my name is Evan McRae. I actually pitched this game originally in the UMBC Games capstone class. And so this is the result of that work. I worked as the lead designer kind of ish on this project. Really, I was more of a programmer, but yeah.
Colby.
Hi, my name's Colby. I'm one of the newer additions to the team. I'm the audio engineer on this game, primarily responsible for musical arrangements.
I'm Brian. I was one of the original members. I am the lead designer and a programmer.
I'll go next. Hi, my name is Ginger Sealy. I am an artist on the team, and I'm also one of the original members from this past semester with Evan. I was actually here since the prototype.
Yeah, it's true.
I guess I'll go. My name's Steven, and I'm an artist for King Scribble. Like, I've been in the project since after the prototype was picked, so I was there during the semester when we worked on it.
Hi, my name's Sormeh. I'm a newer addition to King Scribble. I'm a programmer on King Scribble, like mostly graphics focused.
And I'm Jay. I joined right after the prototype. I was lead programmer at the time, but now I'm sort of the producer role, so keeping things organized and programming.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so we've also had a couple other contributors throughout the semester who are unfortunately not able to join us today. That includes Rowan Barr, who is our former producer, Justin Gaylord, who is our art lead, and Anthony Bonilla Duron, who is another artist on the project, and also Scott Serafin, who has contributed some programming. So we're all UMBC students. We all went through this game capstone class together. This is the result of that work. It's a game called King Scribble, of course. It's about a character named King Scribble who has been whisked away from his former kingdom, the Doodle Kingdom, and is now trying to make his way back home through the power of drawing. So the goal here is it's a platformer where you actually draw the platforms, and there's also puzzles that you solve related to that. So you can see Brian picking up our pencil tool. That is what you can use to actually draw your platforms. So as he's doing that, you can make your way across. There's also a health bar in the top left, and you can see that as you draw, that is going down. So your health is directly related to how much you're drawing. And if you draw too much, then you actually die, and you respawn. So the goal is to be resourceful with what you're drawing, but also creative in terms of how you navigate the terrain to solve the puzzles. So.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, when I was playing this, I was like, health, what is this going down? And then I realized it was the health bar.
Yeah.
Awesome. But how long has this been developing? Because that, as we can kind of see here, it's like really, really polished.
Thank you. Jay, I'll let you take that one over.
Yeah, so this was, of course, the UMBC Spring Semester's capstone project. So Evan, Rowan, and Ginger were starting the prototype in February, late February. So it's been in development since. So that's when we started. We plan to keep developing.
Awesome. Wow. In terms of like the game's development as a whole, I guess how did the idea get started?
Yeah, I'll take that one over real quick. It's actually an idea that I've had since I was in first grade.
Whoa.
I still have little drawings here of this character, King Scribble. I pulled out specifically for this. This is him getting whisked away on the tornado. Definitely like elementary school era me. So I pitched this idea to the game capstone class. I was one of 37 students, and it got accepted as one of 10 ideas to be prototyped, and then one of 4 ideas to be developed throughout the rest of the semester. So that was really cool for childhood me, to be able to have that little character like come back into my life and turn into a project that's better than my wildest imagination. So yeah, I'm really grateful that I was able to take this idea as far as I have, and I could not have done it without this team. So
awesome. What is it? Sorry, I lost my train of thought, but it's really cool that it started out being like from so long ago, and you're able to kind of bring it to fruition. So you mentioned you guys had like not only the initial pitch, but like a prototype, and then the iteration that it is now.
Yeah.
So how's the game changed over the course of that sort of period of time?
I'll let one of you guys take it over.
I guess I'll speak since I've been since. So Evan pitched this idea, and once we were put onto like those 10 groups, it was kind of like groups of 3 or 4. It was actually me, Justin, and Evan starting out. Justin was our lead artist who did all of the animations for King Scribble as you see them now. It started out with us just kind of getting a feel of what we wanted the King Scribble to look like. We did kind of stay true to how Evan had his original ideas and colors and like just like overall aesthetic of the look of King Scribble. We were kind of just in the very beginning, we were just kind of getting a feel of like what kind of puzzles we wanted to do, or like what kind of feel we wanted like the assets around it to look like. And I'm very glad that like Steven and Rowan have worked really hard to like have the aesthetic of the assets look so great.
Yeah, absolutely, because everything looks really put together, especially when it comes to like that hand-drawnness that you guys very much achieved. In terms of like the game, or I guess like the development, what was kind of one of the most difficult parts overall?
Ooh.
Brian, do you want to speak? Or if not, it's okay.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Well, as of difficulty-wise, I think the most difficult to implement was actually something that you don't see here yet. It'd be in a few levels, but I'd say the physics, specifically chain and rope-like objects, since unfortunately Unity kind of sucks for that kind of stuff. It was not easy to figure out how to get them working with the systems we have right now, but I think we did a pretty decent job. There's also some shader stuff coming later that also provided a pretty substantial challenge, but I think those two are the big ones.
For sure.
Gotcha. Definitely, like, rope Unity does not mix well.
Yeah. So we really did try to do our best with the built-in physics. So.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, one time I made like a walking sim game where you're picking up stuff and throwing them everywhere, and physics just did not comply at all. Sometimes it just went off the rails.
Yeah, it takes a lot of thoughts to get what you want to work in the game. Because you think, I just want to move this box. No,
it's going to take 50 different things to make it move.
Definitely. But we work with what we have and the knowledge we know. And I think we've come up with a lot of great solutions to problems we didn't know we could solve. So.
Yep.
Awesome. Oh wait, you go ahead.
Yeah.
You wanna add?
I think you can push that one to the left. Get it out. Yeah.
Nice.
There
we go.
Oh, yay! Cool.
All right, so what we're about to come up to is a new area for the game, which is a kind of abandoned temple, where you're going to pick up your second tool. Yeah, this one I would say took quite a bit of engineering early on. It was actually a sort of a modification to the original idea, because what you're drawing with your pencil is just like free floating lines, and then what you draw with this new tool actually has physics. So.
All right, awesome. I'll wait a little bit to get to the tool.
We got a little cinematic thing for it too.
Ooh.
So, if you can't tell, it is a pen, kind of like Harold's Magic Crayon or something. So you can use it to draw like physical objects. But what's also going on here is we've got an ink rising challenge, where now you have to make sure you don't drown in the ink by drawing pen objects to keep yourself afloat. So these actually have physics. They take on the shape that you draw, and you can also refill your ink refill your pen ink by drawing inside of the flowing ink. So it's a pretty new thing for the game here.
Yeah, I'm just like mesmerized by,
Yeah.
by just the lines filling in. It's very satisfying overall.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it took a lot of iteration. This was one of the earlier things that we worked on, but that just kept evolving throughout the course of the semester. And even recently, like it was only till after the semester that we actually got the like ink to behave and look the way it does now, with like the distortion and shading effects Brian was talking about. So it was a lot of, fine tuning.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because like something like pencil and ink, like you kind of want them to have that feel throughout the entire game, and so aesthetic and also like sound effects, things like that are so important.
For sure.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, we're kind of coming up a little bit on time, but in terms of like the feature development of this game, what are you guys thinking of adding next to King Scribble if you're continuing development?
Yeah. So, I mean, the game as is has actually a boss called the eraser boss right now. We don't have a proper name for it. But the idea is that you would get an eraser tool from that, which you can use to erase your pencil lines. And you will use that in a new area, which I'm not going to spoil yet because I want to give you a good surprise. But it'll be kind of like destructible terrain that you can use to kind of navigate new challenges, and also a new tool. Yeah.
I can skip forward a bit if we're coming up on time.
Yeah, there are a couple more things we'd like to show if we can, but
yeah, no worries. No, there's about like
ignore the flying.
10-ish minutes left because there's a break after this, so you guys can have a little bit more time if you want to like zoom.
We can skip this level.
Yeah. So another thing that we've added to this game is actually these things called no draw zones. So the purple slash lines are areas where you can't use your pen, and the black slash lines are areas where you can't use your pencil. And at the top there, they overlap, so you can't use either tool there. And that kind of like enforces certain like strategies in terms of puzzle solving, which we do want to enable creativity, but we also want to enable some limitations. So that was sort of the design idea there.
I get it, especially for like a drawing game, right? You kind of wanted to at least have some barriers of entry.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. I guess in terms of like platforming games as a whole, like are you guys like big platforming game fans, or is it? Oh yeah.
I was pretty into the Fancy Pants Adventures games back in the day. I don't know if you know those.
Yes.
So that was like a huge source of inspiration for the art style of this game. Just the scribble, squiggly kind of aesthetic. And also our art lead Justin was super into Kirby, and so that inspired a lot of like the character physics in this game. And also I didn't even know, but there is a Kirby game where you actually draw your own platforms too. So that was an inspiration in terms of level design.
I also didn't know that. Wow, but I definitely could feel the like Fancy Pants type of vibes.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, not a lot of people pick that up. So
yeah, because it's like I guess I'm trying to remember how long it's been since I played Fancy Pants, but I'm pretty sure it's like at least.
I think it's been a while. I think it was on Armor Games, which Armor Games is still.
Yeah. Yeah. So what Brian's doing here is using a new feature of the pen, where if you use your right click, then you can actually slash chains, specifically the ones that are marked in white. So that's letting these boxes fall onto buttons underneath the ink, and then that lowers the ink level so you can actually make it through.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, Brian did an amazing job kind of extending mechanics for each of these levels in the temple, so that there's always something new to explore. And that kind of builds your repertoire of strategies.
Awesome. I'm just like watching.
Yeah. This level introduces waterfalls, which took a while to figure out how to do that. That is all being done in a shader. That was one of the more intensive things that we worked on after the semester. But yeah, it gets blocked off by things that move in front of it. And so yeah, this whole level is called Rowboat Rapids, so it's like you're kind of making it through several levels of flowing water, just riding your own pen objects as sailboats, more or less.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely understand. Shaders are also like something that's just so hard to do, and especially in Unity.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just figuring out how to do these things. This is very much like a, from scratch process. I would say that the water we did follow a tutorial for, but the waterfall was pretty new. So
I got it.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So we have about 5 minutes left before we go on our break. So in terms of anything else, do you want to show anything, or?
I would love to. Brian, can you skip ahead to the Eraser Boss?
Yeah, sure.
While he's doing that, I also wanted to iterate something that has been shown, that every time you hit a checkpoint, you do get your scribble meter back filled up. So every time you hit a checkpoint per level, you get your scribble meter back. And I didn't know if Brian had demonstrated it, but anytime that your ink is refillable, so what you have to do, I believe, is you left click and you can draw within the ink and you get that back.
Oh, got it. Oh no.
We might just let's get that one. We're still working on expanding this particular level out, but this part here is a little bit more like finalized. This is actually our boss fight with the Eraser Boss. So Jay, Ginger, and Sormeh have been working really hard on this particular aspect of the game. It's sort of like the last bit of this chapter before we move on to the next area. So the Eraser Boss likes to erase pencil, but he cannot erase pen. And I'll let the others talk about this. I don't want to steal thunder, but...
Yeah, so... I don't really know where to begin, but yeah, he's mad that you have a pencil. The history is he once had a mustache made of pencil, but he erased it off himself. So that caused him to be mad. So that's why he erases all your pencils. But he can be defeated by hitting him with ink, as you can kind of see.
Yeah, and definitely can see like the ink.
Yeah. So the idea is that you want to like lure him into these pen objects, which he can't really erase, even though they do break. They're supposed to like kind of damage him. And then
he's basically using all the skills you learn to defeat.
Yeah, so now he has a shield, which means he can't be affected by pen objects that you're drawing, but the shield washes away when he runs into this ink here. And he gets mad, destroys a pipe, breaks that chain, and now the level's even more tricky for you to navigate. Because you can't draw a platform for yourself to walk across now in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
you can't always do that.
With the hatching lines.
So
so
now we defeated him, and
yay!
So this is where you would be, trying to give him his mustache, but we haven't implemented that particular part yet. So you just kind of fall him to the side, and I've never even seen anything happen after this. So this is exit. Cool. Okay.
You just go back to number 1.
Yep. Cool.
Awesome.
So that's the demo.
Awesome. We're coming up on time, but thank you so much for showing me the boss fight, because I didn't really get that far, but that was really cool.
Brian, one more thing. Can you go into cheat mode, press P? Okay.
Nice.
Do you want to show off the eraser? Yep. So we've got it implemented. It's just not something you get yet, but yeah, we'll have levels where it's actually used. So.
Awesome. Really cool. Thank you guys for coming out. Is there anyone you want to shout out before we end the showcase section?
Can we shout out Dr. Olano?
Yeah, I was about to say shout out our professor.
Shout out our
Dr.
professor.
Olano. Yeah, he really believed in this idea, and it was his support that allowed us to continue as far as it has. So yeah, he's an awesome member of the UMBC faculty, and the leader of the game dev track, game dev club, faculty advisor. So yeah, really great guy.
Awesome.
And there's stickers, guys. Collect all the stickers.
Yep. So these are little collectibles as well, just to like make you kind of want to be a completionist in terms of this game. So there is actually a sticker board on the main menu that you can see like all the stickers you've collected. If you want to go to that.
You have to play the game yourself to find them all.
Yep. King Scribble is on our itch.io. And I believe that you guys also have an Instagram as well.
Yep, we do. At King Scribble Game. Yep, we'll be using that soon.
It's linked on the itch.io too.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out, and that ends Showcase Section C. And then we have a break after this, and then I believe we'll have the game design panel after that.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much.
It's really fun game and really
Thank
creative.
you.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.